Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Mixed Texan Politics. If you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. All right, let's get started here. Today, we're going to talk about the 8 legislative priorities for the upcoming session for the state of Texas. Let's check this out and see what they are. Number 1, protect our elections, restore felony penalties, and enact civil penalties for election code violations, which shall be enforceable by any Texas jurisdiction, including the Texas Attorney General. Require citizenship verification of each voter. Restrict the distribution of mail-in ballots to only disabled military and citizens that are out of state. Reduce the time allowed for early voting and eliminate the 3-day voting gap between early voting and election day. Interesting. Establish closed primaries. I agree with that part. Definitely establish the closed primaries because I don't want Democrats coming in to Republican primaries and voting for somebody they wanted to go against. I don't like the idea of that because it puts us at a disadvantage. If you have a bunch of liberals coming in, for example, if you have two candidates, one who is very conservative and who stands on Texas principles that we want, then you have some rhino in there. I don't want a bunch of Democrats coming in and voting for this rhino. I don't want that. I never understood open primaries, and I'm actually surprised that Texas has that, but it shouldn't be allowed. But I'm going to make a video about the Texas election law that was signed last year by Greg Abbott, and it does have some. It makes it harder to cheat, but I think what the Republican Party of Texas is saying that it doesn't go far enough in the mail-in ballots. But we'll get to that in another video. Secure the border and protect Texans. This is number one. Number one, right here. Texas shall immediately deny all taxpayer-funded services and subsidies to illegal aliens. We call upon the governor to assert his duty under Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3 of the U.S. Constitution to declare an invasion on our Texas border and do everything in his power to protect Texans from this invasion. It is an invasion. The legislature shall direct the governor to enter into an interstate compact with one or more states for border security. Okay. Now, we've seen Greg Abbott do lots of things at the border with Operation Lone Star. He's declared the cartels as a terrorist organization in the state of Texas. And recently he did say there was an invasion at the border. I don't know exactly what he's doing about that since then. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick did say on the radio that he cannot get into details about certain things that we're able to do now with the cartels, stopping their drug smuggling and things like that. Because you can't give out your strategy to these criminals, these terrorists, these scumbags. Am I making anybody mad yet? All right, ban gender modification of children. Texas must ban chemical castration, puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, genital mutilation, bodily alteration surgery, psychological, social transitioning, and any other methods applied to or performed on children. Let me take a sip of my coffee here. By the way, this is really good. It's some coffee in a coffee pod. Usually I do a dark roast. This is a light roast here. And I mix it with some a protein shake, a chocolate flavored protein shake with some ice, some cinnamon, some nutmeg. Nutmeg, it's so good in the fall. Anytime really is good. Yes, we need to stop this gender modification of children. There is no reason why an 8-year-old kid needs to have a sex change. None whatsoever. So this is a huge priority for the state of Texas to get this done and ban it once and for all. All right, there's more. Stop sexualizing Texas kids. Repeal Texas Penal Code obscenity exemption, which allows children access to harmful, explicit, or pornographic materials, and which allows sexual performance by a child. In addition, prohibit teaching, exposure, and or discussion of sexual matters, and prohibit the use or provision of of related books. I don't have my glasses on, so sorry. Or related books and other materials using criminal, civil, or other enforced measures. Stop sexualizing kids. Stop sexualizing kids, period. I'm going to say this again. There's no reason why a third grader or a fifth grader needs to learn about sex. None. When I was in fifth grade, when I was in third grade, whatever, elementary school, I didn't know what sex was. Honestly, I'll tell you what I thought. I thought sex was kissing. When I was a kid, I thought when I saw two people making out, I thought they were having sex. I remember when I was at a grocery store when I was a kid in California, I saw a man and woman making out. And I said, ooh, I was thinking they're having sex right now. And I thought babies came out of the back there. That's how ignorant I was. And I learned as I got older when I got into middle school and high school. Then I learned certain things, which is how it should be a natural progression. All right, abolish. Oh wait, this is a good one. Ban Democrat chairs. To ensure all legislative Republican parties are given a fair opportunity to become law, the Republican-controlled Texas legislators shall adopt a rule that would end the practice of awarding committee chairmanships to Democrats. Yeah, I agree, 100%. Abolish abortion in Texas. Abolish abortion by ensuring the right to life and equal protection of the laws to all preborn children from the moment of fertilization, including adopting effective tools to ensure enforcement of laws to protect life when district attorneys fail to do so. We saw the heartbeat bill pass here in Texas, which bans abortion after 6 weeks. A lot of people were upset about that. People who are on the pro-abortion side because they feel, well, at that point, by the time I find out, it's going to be too late to get an abortion. 6 weeks is early. That's a very short window right there. And I think a lot of people were happy about the heartbeat bill, but then you have other people on the right who were not because they wanted to be completely banned. Even up to 6 weeks is not good enough for a lot of people. But if you're on the pro-life side, I think you should give Governor Greg Abbott a lot of credit for getting that passed because the left went nuts. They pulled their hair out. They were screaming at the sky, foaming out of the mouth because of that. So when you have the left foaming out the mouth and screaming at the sky and tearing the skin off their face, you know you did something right. All right, defend our gun rights. Protect our gun rights against threats such as red flag laws, federal, state, and other restrictions by strengthening and preserving our inalienable rights under the Second Amendment to protect life, liberty, and property. Texas legislators should eliminate gun-free zones. Yes, eliminate gun-free zones. Because when a criminal sees that there is a gun-free zone, somebody's going to do a mass shooting, they know there are no guns inside that facility or whatever it is. It's easy access. I mean, I hate to say it, but it is. Anybody with a brain can see that. Well, obviously not. If they have gun-free zones, they haven't thought about that. The criminals are always going to be criminals. They're going to break the law. That's what they do. Let's see. Parental rights and educational freedom. Parents are the primary decision makers for their children in all matters. This authority shall be protected as an inalienable right. Inalienable right. This shall include the choice of schooling where the money follows the child without strings attached, and enforcement and penalty mechanisms when parents' rights are violated. The right to education shall be free from any social theories. All right, those are the 8 Legislative priorities for the 88th session coming up here in Texas. What do you think about these 8 priorities? I think there's some good stuff in here. Protecting our elections, even though we do have a new voter integrity law that was passed last year, which I think has done a good job. We didn't we got all the votes counted in Texas pretty much on election night. There's some issues down in Houston, but we don't have all these mass mail-in ballots going out with the don't get me started. And I think we've done a good job here in Texas, like in Florida. We're getting in 2 big states, we're getting votes counted on election night, not 2 weeks or not 6 months to count a race. This is some great stuff here. Protecting the Second Amendment. We do have constitutional carry here in Texas, open carry law, but I don't really see too many people open carrying. And I think it's important to protect the Second Amendment from DC or anything else like that. It is very important we keep Texas a sanctuary from DC. Very important to get all of these things passed. And you need to call your legislators, call your local leaders, or call your leaders down there in Austin and make sure they get this stuff passed. Whichever one that you want to see pushed the most, email your representative, call them. Email is always easiest if you don't feel like talking on the phone. Send an email and let them know your concerns, and push them in the right direction. Because we have to keep Texas, Texas. We have to keep it free and keep it Texas a great place to raise families. If you have children, I don't have children, but we want our kids in the state of Texas to have a fair shot at learning good schools without being sexualized. It's that simple. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.